All right, Shia, let's get motivated.
Do it!
Oh, it's frozen.
Just
Try it again. You froze it again? Shia, do it. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit. And you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Shia LaBeouf. Woo. All right, we are going to be warming up, stretching, massaging, and then we're going to do some Beatlicious grind. We'll see how it goes. On, what was it? Sunday? It was meh. So let's try to make it less meh. Alrighty, so we're going to be warming up with one of the free play-alongs on here. Good morning, Pro Football. So we've got a bunch of chop stuff. We've got a bunch of limb independent stuff, which I should work on tomorrow. We got a bunch of grid variations, and then we got a bunch of technique exercises. Ah, yeah, Minnie. She's actually in the other room. There's a new exercise that actually released today, and it is a strengthener for your 3 strokes. So this one. So these other ones I think are coming out later this week, in the next week or so. Stay tuned. But this one is a great exercise to work on if you want to work on your 3 strokes. So it says to play this with accents that are 3 inches higher than taps. So when you're playing through this, you don't want to have like on measure 2, but messed up there a little bit. But play it like that. So I highly recommend working on this one if you want to work on your 3-stroke strength. It's a good one. I'm doing good. Slightly tired, but Minnie kind of was squeaking a little squeaker toy like 30 minutes before I normally wake up. So I was like, Minnie, you're my new alarm clock. All right, let's get our hands going. So we're going to warm up first, and then we'll actually get into it. And I've actually got some questions that I'm going to answer that I got the other day, and then something that I saw on Reddit about like preparing for auditions and whatnot. So we'll talk about that in a wee bit. Let's warm up with 4210 shopping spree. You can walk a little bit on your leg. Nice. You're making progress. I've never broken my leg. I fractured my foot when I was really young. I jumped off the swing set when I was in like elementary school. So it was like 4th grade or something. And I broke the record and my foot. I jumped so far that I landed on concrete instead of the sand. Whoops. Let's start off at 120. You have an addiction to buying practice pads and sticks? Uh-oh. Well, that's going to make it hard to save money. I hear you, though. You have the drum from the background? Nice. It's my wife's kit. Okay, so this exercise is a good one. It's 4210. So you start off normal. Typical shopping spree. Invert. Cheese invert. Or cheese chutta chut, rather. Now cheese invert. Chut cheese. Now you do 2 of everything. Now 1 of everything. And then the 0, you remove the check. It's a weird one, right? It's a good one, though. Let me actually move this. It's a little too far away from my mouth. It's also a little bit high, so it's gonna like look like I'm talking into my eyeball. All right, let's do this. I should add an emoji on YouTube for drums. If I can make them GIFs, that'd be cool too. They're not GIFs. Again, normal shopping spree for page 1, and then it gets weird. It's good. Best way to practice, huh? I'll answer that in a minute. Page 2. Whoopsies. All right, let's do it one more time at 140, and then we'll stretch and massage, and then I'll talk about your question about best way to practice. It's not an easy answer. Stay tuned. Man, my left hand sore from my workout. My left arm. Okay, so let's do kind of like a talk while I stretch. Make that bigger. We'll use that in a moment. Okay, so I'm not going to narrate out loud what I'm doing with my stretch routine. I'll just kind of respond to some questions and whatnot while doing it. But you can follow along if you want to. Okay, so the question, what's the best way to practice? Well, technically, there is not a best way to practice. It depends on what you are working on. So, for example, if I'm working on limb independence on the drum kit, that's going to be very different than if I'm trying to improve a rudiment, or if I'm trying to improve a phrase on marimba, or whatever. So, the best way to practice is to be absurdly intentional with your practice routine. So, how you practice is more important than what you practice, because it informs like, okay, well, what exactly do I need to work on, etc. So the way that I recommend practicing, I'm not phrasing this very good right now. If you do traditional rotate and hold here, oof, it's actually tight, so it felt good. If you, let's say you want to work on, no, I don't want to phrase it that way. If, however, I wanted to give like some general advice for practicing, slower is better, because then you can refine your technique and whatnot, as opposed to just like constantly playing it at show tempo. It also kind of exposes more of the inconsistencies in the airs whenever you practice things slow. So like if I'm working on rudimental stuff, I slow things down. The majority of the practice streams that are actually like technique streams and not just like chop streams, I'm like actually just like spending 80% of the time grinding at like 40 to 60 beats a minute and just going up one click at a time with all these play-alongs and whatnot that I share. So I highly recommend doing that. But when I, back when I used to teach drumline, one of the things that I was doing for the last like couple of years was helping students to identify what the problem is. Like, oh, our rolls sound bad in this phrase. And then go, okay, well, what specifically about it? Are you slurring out the rolls? Are you rushing the rolls? Are you crushing the rolls? Like, what is the issue? Is it the check that's beforehand? Is it the roll itself? And then going, okay, well, what exactly do we need to do to fix that? What are like 5 different ways that you can work on improving slurred out diddles? Let's think of some ways that you can do that relate to the context. So that amount of like intentionality and like really dissecting what is the actual problem is what I'd recommend focusing on with your own practice sessions. Go into it with a plan and go, I want to work on this. And one of the ways that you can do that is at the end of your practice sessions, like the last 5 to 10% of your time, chop out on something. Use that as a way to collect data for what you will then work on the next day. So if you're chopping out with like flam drags and you get to your breaking point and the thing that breaks is like your diddle sound rush, then cool. Slow the flam drag down to like 40 beats a minute and work on them with like grid variation, etc. That's what I recommend doing. When it comes to rudimental stuff, at least when it comes to like drum kit, limb independence, like I've got some like an old video on my website like that talks about how you can develop limb independence through this like sequence of steps that you go through. So everything that you want to work on is going to be a little bit different. It just depends on what the issue is. Like, is it a limb independence issue? Is it a technique issue? Is it a sound quality issue? Is it a motion issue, like moving like around marimba or moving around the drums, etc.? And just think of like, what are some different ways that you can go about improving that thing? And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is to study from multiple people. So you're asking me this question, great. Now ask 10 other people that are also drummers of different kinds or percussionists of different kinds to get some different responses. Like a rudimental drummer is going to give you different advice than a drum set player versus a marimba player versus like a concert snare, etc. All of those are different perspectives that can kind of inform what you end up doing, which is what I highly recommend doing in general. I've had the privilege of being able to study with a variety of people in person and then to just learn from a ton of people through like YouTube and whatnot. And that has all kind of informed how I play. Good morning, Luis. Hopefully that kind of answers your question. Ghost, hello. Are you in Japan yet? If so, sweet. Okay, so another thing, I saw a question on Reddit that was like asking about like how to prepare for an audition. And I was like, oh, I could turn this into like little clips that I could share. Because I wrote a response on that. So I'm going to do that. Not yet? Nice. Well, I'm assuming you're going to leave soon. It's going to be fun. 2 hours Eastern time? Nice. Question for you. Nihongo ga hanasemasu ka? Okay. I'm going to finish this and then I'll kind of talk about the audition. Let me read through my response previously. You're very welcome. I'm glad I can provide some advice, perspectives. Just one perspective taken from many different people. Compile them all together. Let's see here. Okay, so there's this. Just kind of reading through my response. Okay, so when it comes to auditioning for a drumline or anything really, like the first thing you need to focus on is that there is absolutely no substitute for amount of focused effort over an extended period of time. If you are investing the time to get good, it's going to pay off in the long run, but if you're not, you're just kind of rolling the dice and hoping that you're going to have a good day, be able to play through stuff, which I don't recommend doing. First thing that I recommend doing is, when preparing for an audition, is to memorize everything as fast as possible and then spend as much time as possible just refining. So if you have like 3 months until auditions, cool. For this next week, memorize everything. Spend as much time as possible that you need to get everything memorized and then spend the remaining chunk of time just refining things. There are 2 different ways that you can practice for different extremes. Like one is for the performance-related anxiety, and the other is for the possibility of you just being like lethargic or tired or not warmed up, etc. So one end of the spectrum for the anxiety is to do very intense cardio for like 1 minute and then play through the packet. and just keep repeating that process of like calming yourself down after you've just done like jogging in place for a minute or doing a bunch of jumping jacks or whatever you need to do. And then simulate anxiety by just playing through the entire packet and trying to calm yourself down. That will help prepare you for the nerves that come with auditioning. Another thing to do is as soon as you wake up in the morning to play through the packet without warming up. As soon as you wake up, when you are lethargic and are unable to think, etc. This will also prepare you for like, what if you don't sleep the night before, which has happened to me at some auditions and whatnot. So if you can prepare for those two ends of the extreme, it's going to make it so that if either of those happens, whether you get performance-related anxiety or you are tired, you can go like, I've been preparing for this for months. I'm good to go. I can still play through everything and not have to like be lost in your head freaking out about it, etc. Let's see. Another thing to do when preparing for auditions is to, if you can, practice on the drums that you're going to audition on, because the surface might be a different kind of tension and rebound than your practice pad or pads. So I highly recommend doing that, and if possible, wearing them, as you might need to do that for the audition itself. Depends on where you are auditioning. Another thing they recommend for auditions is to actually get lessons from the instructors, if possible, plural, and then also do jam sessions with people who have been on the line or are currently on the line. So that way you can learn specifically what they are going to be looking for the audition itself. Because it's one thing to learn the packet, but it's another thing to learn the packet with the proper technique that they will be looking for. Everyone's going to look for something different. So when I'm like running an audition, I look for something different than like friends of mine. Like, and we're all equally able to play the drums. We just prefer to play them in different ways for different reasons. And that's okay. That's to be expected. So every drumline is going to look for something different. So even if you have like the perfect technique for your drumline, if you're auditioning for a different one, then they might be looking for something a little bit different. So make sure that you know what they are looking for specifically. You're thinking what I said? Wakarimasen? So the first thing that I said, Nihongo ga hanasemasu ka, is do you speak Japanese? And then the second thing I said is I don't understand. Wakarimasen. I'm very slowly learning it. Not very good at it yet, but, you know. Oh, here's actually a good point. I forgot to mention. One thing to know about auditions, whether it's for like a drumline or for getting into School of Music, is they sometimes don't have positions available. Whether it's like, hey, we've got 10 snares who are all returning, odds are those 10 are going to get the spot over somebody who is new, who is kind of untested and maybe less experienced. Now, when it comes to auditioning for like a School of Music, sometimes they don't have scholarships available for people to actually like get a performance scholarship. Even if you're the best player there, they might not have enough scholarships available for you to actually get one. And same thing for actually getting into the School of Music. So I do know some people who are like the only student who got in, but there are multiple people who are like very good and should have gotten in, but there's only like one spot available. So sometimes there are limitations on who can actually attend depending on the year. So if you're auditioning, I do recommend auditioning for multiple different colleges. So that way you can kind of increase those odds of finding a place that does have availability, whether it's for getting into the school or even for getting a scholarship. It's something I honestly didn't do when I was auditioning. I was just like, I'm going to audition for Arizona State because I live by it and it's a good program. And they just happen to have positions and scholarships, etc. So it ended up working out for me. Yay! Let's see there. Okay, so we did that. Let's see. Okay, so yesterday, I think, when I was doing Fortnite, I had somebody ask me about buzzes. So I want to kind of talk about that. So the way that I actually worked on buzzes specifically for concert snare was I had a professor, Mark Sunkett, who has since passed, and a phenomenal performer and educator. He recommended that I actually do 3 strokes with my buzzes on concert snares. So going... The reason why is because if you are playing a buzz where you have like, let's say 3 in one hand and like 5 in another hand, the one with 5 is going to have more compressed sound within the same amount of space as the 3, and so you're going to have an uneven buzz roll, kind of sounding like egg beaters if you're familiar with those for rudimental. So we don't want that. What we want is for your hands to be nice and even. So I worked on 3 strokes by doing that, and then doing both together, and then working on the left hand as a controlled bounce. That sounded bad. There's actually an exercise that I have on my website, which is like linked above or below if you're on YouTube. It's called isolated 3 strokes, I think. But when you play it, it goes through this pattern where you play going like this, and then the second time when you're playing through it, you're doing it as double stops. And the reason for that is because you want to hear that popping sound, so you can hear that your hands are even. Because you don't want to have like a flam sound with your 3 strokes when you're working on it, because then you'll play with a pulse, and so you're trying to eliminate that. So try and get your 3s to be as even as possible. And then the next thing that he mentioned for concert snare is to have a slight little sweep from the outside of the drum to the center of the head. And the reason for that is so that you play the loudest note of the controlled bounce on the softest part of the head, or softer part, and the quietest note of the controlled bounce on the loudest part of the head. So it actually makes it so that you have a very even sound, as opposed to kind of hearing 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 with an emphasis, but you'll hear 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, like less of a pulse on there. So when I was extremely skeptical with this, because I was like, why would I want to play concert snare with like my hands kind of sweeping with the 3s? But it sounds so much better. Like, I just worked on buzzes with him for like a month and doing that, and if I was actually on a set of drums, then it just sounds like chef's kiss when you do it that way. So it's weird, but try it out. Highly recommend it. Great way to work on your buzzes. Let's see. So we went through that question. Okay. So another question that I got, I think it was yesterday, maybe it was Monday. Somebody was asking if it was good to isolate your hands to work on a rudiment. So yes, it can be very helpful to isolate your hands, like to play flam accents and just... because then you can just sit there and focus on like controlling the interior notes and like working on your individual hand technique. But I have seen many students, probably even most students, have more issues when they put the hands together than when they're doing it apart. So they might be able to play, and it's great. Maybe even as double stops, and that's also great. But then as soon as they put their flam accents together and play it, it's like... So the issue is not with the isolated hand itself and that particular technique, but when they are combining the hands together or multiple limbs or whatever it is that they are working on. So it might be helpful for you to isolate out what the hand is doing to refine that technique on there. But one way to actually do it in context is to just play absurdly slow. Like set your metronome at like 40 beats a minute and just work on flam accents like this. And then maybe try it with grid variations extremely slow at like 40, go up 1 click at a time, etc. There's like 800 on my website, all for free. But that's what I would recommend more, is actually working on it in context and slower than just isolating out what each of your hands is doing. Because like to know that your cheese is going to play is fine, but to know what it is when it's in context can be very different. So there's actually, let me show you here, coming out, I think in July, question mark? We'll go into the back end of YouTube. Let's go. Where is it at? Yeah, this one. Okay, so July, let's find the cheese one. July 13th, this one's going to come out. So I'm giving you a preview here. So we have Cheese Builder. So this takes the flam accent pattern and it puts it so that it's in a cheese context. But you're not just sitting there working on cheese alone. You're slowly turning it into a full cheese, alternating as triplets. So you add in a grace note. And then you add in the left hand, etc. And then eventually on the second page, it becomes cheeses. And then you take away 1 right hand per phrase, and so you slowly remove it, and you just get into... Ooh, thumb came off the stick. Off the left. So it is isolating the hands, but then it's slowly combining it and putting it into context, and then isolating it so that's the other hand. So yes, you can work on your hands in isolation, but what I recommend doing instead is to put it in context and just play it slow. There's a reason why these play-alongs can go super slow, and it's because I want you to be able to... Interesting. It's got the wrong BPM in the title. I'll fix that in a minute. Let me write myself a note. It's not coming out till July, so we have plenty of time to fix that. There we go. Do that after the stream ends. Cool. Anyways, so yeah, hopefully that answers the questions that I got while I was playing Fortnite the other day. Whoopsies. Just pulled up the wrong window. It's got my empty Twitch chat. I get like very little engagement on Twitch. Which is interesting. It's the more popular streaming platform. But most of where I get engagement is actually on YouTube. And then Instagram. What? Didn't switch over. Weird. And then maybe TikTok. Huh. Why are you doing that? Hi, Instagram. There we go. Weird. Streamlabs. Being goofy. All right, anyways. That's a lot of talking. Let's get back into playing. So we were doing... what? Oh, yeah. 4210 shopping spree. Wow, 30 minutes in. Let's chop out real quick. So let's go here. And let's do 150. That's probably the breaking point this morning. Stay tuned. We're going to find out. Left hand's still tight. This is the 4 pattern. It's a normal stock shopping spree. However, page 2, it gets weird. Two counts of everything. One count. And then the 0 at the end gets rid of check, and you just play one of each rudiment. This is called 4210 Shopping Spree, and you can find it linked at the top of the screen, and it's under the chop exercises. Okay, let's play through Quad Logic. We're going to do Beatlicious. Actually, give me one moment. I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the book, Quad Logic. We're towards the end of it, and we're going to actually play through, it's like a little ram or a solo. It's called Beatlicious. And you can actually find a copy of this book here under the lessons section, where I've got some, like this playlist has like 800 different shorts, like less than a minute, of me just kind of talking through, here's how you improve whatever. Like some of the stuff I just talked about, I'm going to turn into a short, which will release probably next week, maybe. But under books, you can find concert books I recommend of various ability levels, like easy ones like accents and rebounds, harder ones like portraits and rhythms, and then really harder ones like the Beatlicious. We also got drum kit stuff, and then if you scroll further down, you can find Quad Logic here. These are affiliate links, so clicking on this does help me out because Amazon gives me about 4% back. So if you spend $100, I get $4, which is sweet. So thank you for people who have already used the affiliate links. It does help out. But I am going to get rid of this because of copyright issues. I don't want you to see the music. Sorry. And let's play through this. Metronome. Turn that up. All right. Let's get. Thank you for the sub on YouTube. I appreciate you. I can't speak. Okay, let's play through the whole thing. We'll see how this goes. Right now we're at 60, so it should be a comfortable tempo. But my brain was foggy when I tried this last. 1, 2, ready, and. 1, 2. No! Okay. Let me look at the sticking here. So we have okay. Okay, cool. All right, let's try this a little bit faster. Definitely some areas to refine and work on, but let's see what happens when we get too fast. Let's change the view if you're on full screen view. 1, 2, here we go. That's such a weird phrase ending. Do, 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 Okay. We survived. Yay. 70. 1, 2, ready, and. 2. No! Let's try it again. Mm-hmm. 75. Nope. There we go. We found it. Coffee cup. It's weightlifting right now. There we go. Got a little portal coaster. That's funny. Okay. Let's try it again. Faster. 1, 2, ready, and. Ew. Perfect. Oh, where do I start? One, 2. We done it. Well, 80. Do it. Let's try it. 1, 2, ready, and go. Yeah, so the biggest issue right now is my left hand is not going far enough over on some of these crossovers. So I'm hitting whoopsies. Okay. It's slowly getting better. I'm using today as kind of like a data collection to see what happens when I just keep going faster and completely crash and burn on different phrases. And we'll use that to kind of inform what should I slow down and work on the next tenor stream. So stay tuned for that. Ew! I played the phrase that's 2 lines down. Whoopsies. It's very similar. One, 2. This one. Yeah, so it's still the... That one not getting far enough over. Okay. Let's try it again. Same speed. I'm taking the right air. Then in on Spock. Whoops. Yeah, so what I'm reading is not what my brain is thinking. I just keep mixing up phrases. I just gotta memorize it. 1, 2, ready, Ew. Yikes! I'm so sorry. Hit the microphone. Hopefully that didn't explode your eardrums. Started playing the first phrase. No, we're on the second phrase. It's like the easiest split too. It's hard. It's a fun one though. Let's go faster. Let's try 90. Will this go good? Probably not. Will we have fun trying it? Maybe. One, two. One, two, Yikes! Let's go faster. Because it sounds great. No, it doesn't. Getting data. Okay. Whole thing. Let's try it again. Perfect. Okay. Good morning, Perplexed. Welcome back. Focus. Ow, hit my hand. No, I keep mixing up phrases. That's the theme of today. Jared, wake up. You're about to go visit colleges. Nice. GG's. That's a fun day. I remember doing that. They did like the tour of the honors college at Arizona State, and I was like, wow, this is a dump. At least it was like way back in 2002, was it? It was like not remodeled dorms that they had us tour, and they're like, you could live here and you have community showers. I'm like, wow, that sounds horrible. I think I'll stay at home. Thank you, though, since I only live like 20 minutes away from it or whatever. It was a fun day, though. It was cool exploring the campus. And then when I actually went there, it was like, wow, I only spend all my time in like one building out of like however many square mile radius it is. Anyways, mental break. Let's try this again. 95. Nope. No. That's definitely a phrase to work on. Let's try the next half. Yeah, so just out of control. So in general, I'm just tightening up and just like doing all the different crossover stuff. So I need to slow this back down again. And we'll do this on Sunday. And we'll work on just relaxing and playing it calmer and making sure my left hand goes over enough so I don't hit the rim. Give me good data. Like this phrase. Could work on that one more as I hit the rim there. Cool. I gotta record some stuff here soon. So I'm gonna chop out now. Let's go here. Whee! So we warmed up with 4210 Shopping Spree. Let's do something else to play faster. Oh, let's do... I mentioned this somewhere. I don't remember if it was on stream or in Reddit or what. But like diddle exercises. Let's do 1-2-4 version. So backwards version of grid. And we'll do diddle on taps. This one. It's a good one. And we go here. And we jump to BPM. Sure, let's do 100. Volume up. Yeah. 110. Yeah. Click, click, clack, click. Let's go. Marry someone who makes you laugh every day, several times a day. There's some advice for y'all. Come in the room, be a goofball. Distracted. All right, let's try it. trying to find the breaking point. 130. Again, save this for the end of your streams, or not streams, practice sessions. Chop out at the end. It's fun. Okay. 140. Whoops, too far. Is this the breaking point? We'll find out in like 30 seconds. Tried at 150. I don't think 160 is going to happen this morning. Not trying to doubt myself or anything, just being realistic. Stay tuned. We'll try it. Stalling. 160. Oh, by the way, if you turn on channel memberships, I do gift 10 at the start of the month. Just started doing that now that I have the ability to do it. So if anyone wants to, just click this, and then it turns on for any channel, and you can get it on your favorite YouTuber, whoever it is. They might gift you a membership for free. And this link right here actually takes you to the link at the top of the screen, which has over 1,000 free play-alongs. Free. Emphasizing free. It kind of upsets some people on Reddit sometimes. Bro's sharing too many free things. Would you prefer I charged for this? Because I could, but I don't. The exercise that I was just playing through was from the 16th note grid variations. There's 477 new play-along releasing every day, and under the diddle variations, that was diddle on taps, but it was the backwards version, so 1-2-4 instead of 4-2-1. There are just under 70 diddle variations for just 16th note. That's a lot. Keep you and I busy for a while. Speaking of, I gotta go work on some stuff, so I'm gonna go do that. It's fun to kind of get the hands flowing and be able to answer some questions and whatnot. Good questions, by the way, on Instagram. And, yeah, we'll be back on tomorrow. I'll be doing some Fortnite. There's a new Fortnite highlight reel that's coming out, and I should be doing some limb independence grind. They're difficult, the ones that we'll be working on tomorrow, so stay tuned. It's like short on the hi-hat, long on the bass drum, while playing swung ride 4/4 pattern, and then you fill in ghost notes with triplets on snare. It's rough. So stay tuned. We'll start with that one. We'll see how it goes. Might do it the entire stream. Anyways, I'm going to call it. Thank you again for everybody stopping by. And if you all like these free resources, just share it with somebody else. Whether text it to a friend or post it on social media or whatever. It just helps more people find it. And again, I want to keep this stuff free for as long as possible, if not forever, preferably. We'll add in ads later on, but right now I'm not monetized. So I can't do that. If you see an ad before a video, it's YouTube making money, not me. Anyways, I'm going to call it here. Again, I genuinely appreciate y'all, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.